Welcome everyone to this evening's mindfulness service. We're going to go for 15 minutes tonight, just like we did last week, and we're going to be doing the same series of practices. We'll focus on breathing first, then we'll do a listening practice, and then we'll do a sitting practice. Couple things just to remind you of. Like I said last week, the focus of this practice is not to empty your mind, but instead to focus it gently on a series of experiences that we're going to have together. Things like, for example, how your hands feel as you're sitting in a chair, or what sort of sounds are in the atmosphere around you, or what it feels like for air to, slowly enter in through your nostrils and down into your chest, to your diaphragm. So it's been a busy day, I have no doubt for you, as it's been for me. If you feel as if your thoughts keep tugging and pulling you in different directions, just notice that that's happening, and then gently bring your attention back to whatever it is we're trying to focus on in that particular moment. So with that, I'm going to start the timer for our 15 minutes and begin walking you through this evening's exercises. So the first thing we're going to do, like last week, is we're going to start with a breathing exercise. So I want you to find a chair where you can sit, something that's comfortable but not too comfortable. Like I said last week, probably you don't want to be in an overstuffed sort of recliner or something like that. You want to be in a chair where you can sit up straight but not too stiff, and where your feet can be flat on the ground. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sort of place your hands in a comfortable position on your lap. I often tell people that a quick way of checking to see where, what kind of stress is residing in your body is to just do a quick body scan where you check to see your jaw, whether it's tight, your shoulders, and then also your hands. So with your jaw, you want to make sure that your lips are together but your teeth apart. It's a phrase that I used that I learned when I was first starting to practice mindfulness. With your shoulders, you're just going to want to gently lower them if they've gotten sort of cranked up, and you want to sort of roll them back if you're finding yourself curling forward. And with your hands, you just want to make sure that they're not tight in a fist, or that there's not a lot of tension in them. You just want to relax those three areas of the body. Having done that, let's begin our breathing exercise by closing our eyes and taking some deep breaths in through our nose if possible, if allergies aren't bothering us, and then out again through our nose or through our mouth. Whatever is comfortable, that's the key thing here. Just breathe in through the nose and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And just spend some time as you breathe focusing on the different experiences that go into taking a breath. For example, maybe take a couple breaths where you focus just on the feeling of the air sort of entering into your nostrils. Just feel that sort of the pressure of the air going through your nostrils. And then maybe what you want to do is you want to sort of follow the air as it goes in through your nostrils and then down into your chest, and just sort of feel how your stomach expands out when you breathe in and then tucks back in when you breathe out. And as you're breathing, you really want to feel that air filling your stomach. You don't want to the degree that you're able, you want to not breathe in by sort of raising your shoulders, but breathe in using your diaphragm. So let's try a couple breaths like that, just really focusing on the movement of the diaphragm. And shift your focus back up to your nose or if you're breathing through your mouth, the sort of feeling of the air coming through your lips. Just really feel that flow of air moving in your body, in your head. Now, while we're doing this, I want to add in a little wrinkle, and that is I want us to spend some time now just focusing on the noises that we can hear around us. For example, in the building where I am, there's the fan of my computer that I can hear. There are cars moving outside. I can hear my own breathing when I breathe. And there's also just some mechanical noises in the building itself. And you probably have a variety of different noises just going on around you as well. So why don't we just start by sort of surveying the different noises. See if you can count 4 different noises where you are. And now maybe while you were surveying those different noises, there was one noise in particular that really sort of drew you to it. And so let's just shift our focus back towards that noise and just focus on it for a while. Remember to keep breathing and just focus on that noise. And just really notice and observe that noise. See if you can pick out some different sounds within the noise. For example, if you're listening to a noise in your house, like a fan, for example, can you hear the different sounds that the rotors make, for example? Or are there different sort of hums within that same sound, so different frequencies in play? Just see if you can parse the sound a little bit. That's what I like to call it when we begin to sort of do a deep dive into a particular sound and sort of, notice its different elements. And now try and see if you can shift your attention from that sound that was very absorbing to one of the other sounds, and see if you can just kind of focus in on it. And remember, if you're finding your mind sort of getting caught up in sort of worries or fretting or lists of to-dos and things like that, just gently sort of acknowledge that that's what the mind is up to, and bring your attention gently back to the sound that you're trying to follow right now. Just try and stay with that second sound for a while. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do just a really abbreviated body scan, kind of like what we did last week. So let's bring our attention back to our breathing for a couple of breaths. Just really feel that air moving past your nose, or in through your nostrils and down to your diaphragm, and then out again. And then I want you to bring your attention to your feet as you have them sort of flat on the floor. And just notice what parts of your foot are in contact with the floor. Maybe it's the ball of the foot, maybe it is more the arch or the heel. It's going to be different for me because I'm standing, but just feel as you're sitting there what parts of the foot are, are in contact with the floor. And then just observe any sensations you might be feeling in your feet. For example, maybe a little bit of numbness or tingling. Maybe if you're wearing shoes, take a moment to sort of consider how your toes are, how they're arranged within the shoe. Are the tip of your toes up against the end of the shoe, or is there space between the tip of your toes and the end and the shoe? Bring your attention back to your breath again. Follow it in through the nostrils and then down into the diaphragm. And back out again. Do that another time. And then shift your focus to your hands as they sort of rest comfortably on your lap. And do the same sort of thing that you did with your feet. Just sort of ask yourself what parts of the hand are in contact with your legs. Is there a finger, for example, a pad of a finger that you feel especially strongly sort of against your leg? Is there a tingling sensation? If so, just focus on that for a couple breaths. And shift your focus to your legs now. What does the weight of your hands feel like on your legs? Just focus on that for a second. That feeling of weight and sort of substance. And now let's take our focus, bring our focus up to our shoulders and our back. Again, if your jaw has gotten tense during this time, lips together, teeth apart. If your shoulders have gotten hunched or if they're curling forward again, just slowly, just gently roll them back, and sort of settle them down. And turn your attention, notice what's going on with your back against the back of the chair. What part of your back exactly is in contact with the chair? And what sensations of support and maybe stiffness or maybe hardness or softness do you feel with your back against the chair? And let's bring our attention back to our breath. And maybe you're hearing the ambulance or the siren go by me. You can focus on that as it's coming by. And as it passes, then bring your focus back to your breathing. And just feel that air as it enters into your nostrils. It's such an interesting sort of experience to feel the sort of rush of air that's over your lips or up through your nostrils and then down into your diaphragm. Again, if your mind is sort of drifting on to the tasks of the day and what you're going to eat for dinner or what you had for dinner. Just gently bring it back to your focus on your breath. Thank your mind for being so active on your behalf, and then just bring the focus back to your breathing. Take a breath where you notice what's going on with the air entering into your mouth or your nostrils. And then take a breath where you really feel that air moving the diaphragm out, and then the diaphragm bringing the stomach back in as you exhale. Just notice the pressure of your stomach against your clothing, for example, as you do that. And a couple more breaths. And we are done. So I hope you enjoyed this brief mindfulness practice. If you find yourself getting tense during the day, it's really amazing how little time you need to spend just sort of breathing and taking it easy for your body to recalibrate. My husband once told me about a study where it showed that just 2 minutes of silence and just slow breathing and checking your jaw, checking your shoulders, checking your hands, just 2 minutes of that can make a huge difference on the release of the different stress hormones in the body. So don't think that mindfulness, that you have to, in order to practice mindfulness, you need to do it for hours. You need to start with 45-minute long sessions. 5 minutes is enough, a couple minutes is enough, and you'll notice a difference. And in fact, I often tell people, the best habits to get into when it comes to mindfulness is to have a practice that you can go to over the course of the day when you really feel, when you have a second to yourself, or when you're feeling yourself getting upset, getting worked up, that jaw is tight, those shoulders are hunched, or your hands are, showing your anxiety and your tension. So we will be back here next Thursday at this time. I hope everyone is safe, happy, and healthy this evening, and I will look forward to seeing you then.